Hello everybody, welcome back to the video, and today I'm ranking the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, so as you can see, this tier list includes basically everything, but it does contain the Netflix series, which I've started on, but I haven't watched all of, so I'm not going to factor them in. We're going to go in chronological order. We're going to start with Iron Man. We're going to end with Deadpool and Wolverine. So, let's get started. Original Iron Man. This is an S-tier Marvel movie. It is a perfect start to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man is some of the best casting, maybe for any movie. It's an incredible casting. So yeah, it's a great movie. Incredible Hulk is not the worst, but it's not the best. So I'll put it in C tier. Iron Man 2. It's definitely a step down, but I think it's better than most people say, but probably another. I'll put it above Incredible Hulk. Thor. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Iron Man 2 to B tier. Thor is a good movie. It's definitely near the bottom of B tier, but I mean, you can't really go wrong with Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Captain America: First Avenger. I think it's a very underrated movie, actually. So A tier, very, very good. The Avengers, I will say, my opinion is, I think it's the weakest Avengers movie, but it's still incredible. Iron Man 3, C tier, I think. You know what? I'll put it bottom of B tier with Thor. Thor Dark World, C tier. Endgame definitely helps the movie, and again, you can't really go wrong with Tom Hiddleston, who is another one of the best castings. Winter Soldier, is it S tier? It's easily the best Captain America movie, right? I'll put it at the top of A tier, and I'll come back to it. Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, this is actually top of A tier. Yeah, top of A tier, easy. Age of Ultron, I think, is underrated, personally. I think Age of Ultron is actually really good, and I would actually say A tier. Ant-Man, it's a good movie, but B tier. I'll put it ahead of Iron Man 3. Civil War. Okay, this might be my most hot take. I actually think Civil War is the weakest of the Captain America trilogy. But it's still a good movie. It's just, I think it's a little overrated. But still a good movie. I'll put it bottom of A tier. What's next? Doctor Strange. S tier. I think Doctor Strange is actually a really good movie. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange is great casting. So, yeah, and plus it's a really interesting movie as well. Guardians Volume 2, A tier. Actually, higher up on A tier. I'll put it ahead of Age of Ultron, but not ahead of Winter Soldier. It's very good. Yeah, it's just a great movie. The performances are still incredible from all the original cast from the first movie. Just great. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Okay, I might get a little bit of hate for this, but I think this is the weakest of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I'll put it in. I might get some hate for this. B tier. Thor Ragnarok. I mean, this is the best Thor movie, right? It's got great action. Excuse me, great directing, great acting. You know what? I'll put it ahead of Civil War, I think. Black Panther. I mean, this is a great movie, right? I mean, a lot of people say this is a top 5. It's not a top 5 for me personally, but I do think it's a good movie. And it is an A tier movie, and I will put it. This might be low for some people, but I'm putting it right behind the Avengers. Avengers: Infinity War, S tier. I mean, it's an incredible movie. It just is. Ant-Man and the Wasp, C tier. I wasn't really a big fan of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Captain Marvel, D tier. It's our first D tier. Oh boy. Okay, so Samuel L. Jackson is the only thing that kind of makes me want to put this in. This is our first D tier, but Samuel L. Jackson's performance Makes me want to put this in C tier, just for that reason alone. We got some bad stuff coming up, so yeah, very bottom of C tier. Avengers Endgame, S tier. I mean, really, is that a shocker? Spider-Man Far From Home. I think this movie's actually really underrated. Mysterio is a great villain, but this is tough, because I would actually argue I'm gonna put it slightly above Black Panther. I think WandaVision, the first of the Disney Plus shows. Okay, so if you watched my Disney Plus show ranking, then you know that I think that this show is good, but it's not great. I'll put it around the same place as Homecoming. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's got good action, but I'm not, it's not one I would immediately turn to. So I'll put it C tier. Loki, S tier. Season 1, incredible. I think probably the best Disney Plus season. I think out of any character you could have sent to Disney Plus, I mean, it was kind of obvious they were going to have to do Loki. And so, yeah, great choice. Black Widow. I almost said Black Panther again, but Black Widow. I mean, Scarlett Johansson is good. But, I mean, the villains aren't that great. I do like the James Bond reference to Moonraker. It's a short, small reference, but it's kind of funny. I'll put it in B tier, but I'll put it in between Ant-Man and Thor. What if season 1? It did not grab that. Oh, it's not a C tier. There's some great points. What if Ultron won, and what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? Are incredible. The Doctor Strange episode in particular, I think, is one of maybe the best episodes of a Marvel Disney Plus show. But there's some weak spots as well, like Party Thor. So I'll put it in A tier. Shang-Chi. Okay, I thought Shang-Chi was great. People were really excited for it when it got released, and then no one's really talked about it, but I think it's incredible. It's an A tier project. It is a great movie. I'll put it in between, you know what? Man. It's around First Avenger for me. I'll put it in between Avengers and First Avenger. The Eternals. This is our first true D tier. For the simple reason of, I mean, it could have been slightly better if it was a Disney Plus show, right? You've got 10 brand new characters you're introducing. You don't give any of them time to develop. They're also extremely boring characters as well. And plus, it's just not a great movie. Hawkeye. I love this show. I mean, of course, it's a Christmas show, but is it top of 8? I'll put it in S tier. And if the PG-13 Kingpin is immediately a top 10 Marvel villain for me, I mean, he could be the best Marvel villain by the time I finish Daredevil. Spider-Man, not Far From Home, No Way Home. I mean, this is obviously an S tier. I'm going to arrange the S tiers in terms of my personal favorites at the end of the video, so just stay tuned. Moon Knight, A tier. I think episode, I want to say it's 3 is kind of weak, but that's par for the course. I'll put it near the top of A tier because I think it's really good. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think it's good, but it does definitely have some weak spots. So I'll put it B tier. Miss Marvel. Okay, so it's not horrible, but it's something I really wouldn't want to just watch again randomly. So I will say I think it's very slightly more enjoyable than Falcon and the Winter Soldier because it acts more as a comedy. Thor: Love and Thunder. Look, I'm putting it in C tier strictly because it does use Guns N' Roses in the soundtrack, and I love Guns N' Roses. But that's about it. right? Everything else about Love and Thunder was a disappointment. The I Am Groot shorts I'll put in C tier, but I'll put them above Captain Marvel. They don't really do anything. She-Hulk Attorney at Law is my absolute least favorite Marvel project that I've watched. I do not like it. The writing isn't great, right? I mean, yeah, not great. I mean, some of the returning characters from other Marvel stuff is kind of interesting. Daredevil and Wong, but that's about it. And also, you have easily, I think, the worst finale. Okay, Werewolf by Night. Very good special presentation. I will put it around Moon Knight. Maybe I'll put it a little bit higher by the end of this, but we'll see. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So this movie was in an unenviable place, right? Because no one knew that going into Black Panther 2 that Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played T'Challa, would have died and before the production on the movie could start. So you really don't. You're in a horrible place where you got to figure out what you're going to do next. And I think in that regard, they do a great job of paying tribute to the actor. I think some of the scenes feel like they go on for a little bit too long. But it is a good movie, and it does a good job of paying respect towards Chadwick Boseman. But I do think that there's other better ones. So I'll put it in A tier behind What If. The Guardians Christmas special. Completely changing tone now. I think it's a fun premise, right? Drax and Mantis going and kidnapping Kevin Bacon. It's a funny idea for a Christmas special, but I think in terms of being a Christmas Marvel project, Hawkeye is better, but the Guardian special is still good. So I'll put it behind Doctor Strange, I think. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Okay, so there's stuff to like about this movie, right? But first, let's place it. I'm going to put it, you know what? Yeah, I'll put it controversially very bottom of B tier. Yeah, very top of C tier. Now, it is not the death of the Marvel Cinematic Universe like people say it is. It definitely has parts that aren't great. MODOK could have been done way better. The Citizens of the Quantum Realm could have been done better. The absolute funny actor that is Bill Murray is completely wasted in this movie. But let's talk about the highlights, because I do think there are two. Jonathan Majors and Michelle Pfeiffer. When they're on screen together, this movie feels like it's a completely different movie. In a good way. I would have rather the whole movie be the two of them, to be honest. And with this being really the end of the Kang storyline, well, not really the end. Loki season 2 is, but as a one-time villain, and knowing what we know now, Kang is a good villain for this movie, and definitely is the best part. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is S tier. It's an incredible movie. A great conclusion to the Guardians trilogy, I think. Secret Invasion is not horrendous, because it's very hard for Samuel L. Jackson to give a bad performance in something. But just about everything else is very weak. But that being said, you have Samuel L. Jackson, so I'll put it above Captain Marvel. Episode 1 of Secret Invasion is pretty decent. Loki Season 2. I think Season 2 is... maybe it's not as good as Season 1. Actually, I would argue it is. I will put it in S tier, because it is basically Loki Part 2, right? It was intended, season 1 is part 1 of this story, season 2 is part 2. They both work incredibly well. So, yeah, S tier. The Marvels. Okay, I did a full review of this. You guys can go and check that out, but I was not a big fan of the Marvels. What if season 2? Actually, I didn't even mean to put that there, but it kind of fits being there. You've got a great Christmas episode and the 80s Avengers. But, I mean, not really a great season. The finale was definitely not great. Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, so I got a review on this coming soon, but to not spoil it, to spoil my complete thoughts on the movie, I am going to say where it falls. But if you want more detailed thoughts, you're going to have to go check out that review when it gets released. But it is an S tier. It's a great movie, and I do believe it's the best Deadpool. Okay. So, but for cameos and stuff and my overall thoughts more in depth, you're going to have to check out the review. Okay. Which of these... So I'm going to go by which of these I would want to watch the least. How many S tiers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I put 10? 1, 2, 3, 4. I did. I put 10. Okay. I did not even realize that this was going to be a top 10. Okay. Let's see. So, which of these would I want to watch the least? That's tough, but I'm going to place Loki Season 2 at 10th. Then I'm going to... I know it's going to be No Way Home and Guardians are going to be in the top 5 for sure. Let's see. So let's go ahead and... Actually, those are probably top 3. So let's go ahead and do that. I will put... It's tough. It really is. I'm going to put... I'm going to put Hawkeye at 9th, Loki Season 1. Okay, no. Doctor Strange at 8th, Loki Season 1 at 7th. I'm going to go with Iron Man 1 at 6th, I think. And actually, this about sums up my opinion. Except swap Endgame and Infinity War, I think. I mean, this could be first time viewing Deadpool and Wolverine, but you know what? Ooh, this is tough. Because on the one hand, it's literally between, right now, for the 5th place, it's between the most recent and the original. Kind of funny how that works out. But this is tough. I think I like the story of Deadpool and Wolverine more than Iron Man, so I'm going with that for 5th. Alright, here is my complete ranking of the MCU. D tier, we have She-Hulk, The Marvels, The Eternals. Then C tier, we have Thor: Love and Thunder, Captain Marvel, Secret Invasion, I Am Groot, Thor: The Dark World, The Incredible Hulk, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Then B tier, we have Iron Man 3, Ant-Man, Black Widow, Thor: What If Season 2, Iron Man 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, WandaVision, The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, Christmas Special, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. And then in A tier, we have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, What If Season 1, Captain America: Civil War, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, Spider-Man: Far From Home, The Avengers, Shang-Chi, First Avenger, Age of Ultron, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we have Loki Season 2, moving into the S tier, Loki Season 2, Hawkeye, Doctor Strange, 10th is Loki Season 2, 9th is Hawkeye, 8th is Doctor Strange, 7th is Loki Season 1, 6th is Iron Man, 5th is Deadpool and Wolverine, 4th is Avengers Infinity War, 3rd is Avengers Endgame, 2nd is Spider-Man No Way Home, and number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think that works. I think that fits. Only thing I'll say is I think I want to move Shang-Chi up slightly. I'm going to swap Guardians and Shang-Chi, I think. Guardians 2 and Shang-Chi. I think I'm happy with that. I really do. I think that that's going to be good. But either way, that's it for this video. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.